Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So, today, we need to look at some more bans. The ban hammer well and truly came down. I told you about the Shaymin EX ban a little while ago, a couple of hours ago. Really depends on how fast I get this one uploaded. Today, in this particular video, I need to tell you about a pair of bans, and I do like to go through these properly and really give you the full explanation and everything I can tell you about it, but they're a pair of cards that are so linked together in what they do and why they were banned, it really would be disingenuous to deal with them separately. We are talking about the Oranguru from Ultra Prism, and the Sableye from Dark Explorers, one of which, at least recently, is a lot more relevant than the other. Now, if we start off with Oranguru here, this is a card which some people absolutely adore, not including me, and some people think is absolutely horrendous, very much including me. What does it do? Well, it's got the attack Resource Management. Put 3 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck in any order. And essentially, what you aim to do with this particular attack is recover all of your most annoying resources and use them over and over again to make your opponent not have a very nice time at all. And that very much is the goal here. The goal is to try and just frustrate your opponent to the point where they just can't do very much and they go ahead and they lose. So you would reuse things like Crushing Hammer, that item card that gets rid of your opponent's energy. And yeah, it's on a coin flip, but you keep recovering it and keep reusing it over and over and over and over again. And then your opponent has a little bit of a cry and things are a little bit sad. Or you would reuse stuff like, well, before it got banned, Belelbra and Bryson Man to discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Your own as well, but less of an issue because you're constantly recovering your own stuff, so you'll probably be alright. Of course, one thing you would definitely be trying to recover is Life Dew. That is the Pokemon tool card that says if it's attached to a Pokemon that gets KO'd, you give up 1 fewer prize. So that definitely would be one you'd be having a look at. And you would just keep going and keep going. Counter Catcher, because you'd definitely be behind on prizes because you're not aiming to take prizes. So this would just gust up one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you basically just keep recovering these cards and just completely and utterly frustrate your opponent until the point they just give up and lose. That's your goal. That is a goal with that particular deck. Now, interesting to note, the most recent regional we had that was expanded, now, in fairness, it was the 29th of February this year. Woo, leap year. And that's the last one we had, but it was not a well-represented deck. Jake Hewitt took 41st place with, well, an Oranguru control deck with Chinchino, and that was essentially what we had. That's the best we did. So what about Sableye then? Well, Sableye used to be relevant quite a while ago. You see, Sableye's got the attack Junk Hunt. For 1 Darkness Energy, you put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand. And it's kind of similar to Oranguru in a lot of ways. In that essentially what you do is you try and recover your most annoying things like Life Dew, things like Crushing Hammer, Counter Catcher, all those kind of things, and then you frustrate your opponent until they can't do anything and they essentially give up and lose. That's your goal with Sableye. Now, of course, Sableye has not been that great and that relevant lately, and the reason very simply is, a while ago we banned Puzzle of Time. And Puzzle of Time was a card that really broke Sableye wide open. Puzzle of Time lets you, if you play 2 at the same time, put any 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. So essentially with Sableye, what you would do is always just get your Puzzle of Time back, and then on your turn play Puzzle of Time to get any 2 cards back. You get Puzzle of Time back now, so that on your next turn you can get any 2 cards back. And this actually did make a much better combo with Life Dew, because Oranguru, you get KO'd, you don't give up a prize because Life Dew, but then you have to actually go ahead and get it back, and then attach it, and you generally have a turn without. Sableye, you've got Puzzle of Time, so you go down with Life Dew attached, and then next turn, Puzzle of Time, Life Dew, and off we go. Although do remember there are things like Lana's Fishing Rod, which can recover Pokemon tools, including Life Dew, so they can be gotten back, so to speak. And both of these cards have now gone and been banned. As a pair, they've gone and been banned. What did Pokemon actually say when they banned it? Well, here's what they said. Oranguru's Resource Management attack and Sableye's Junk Hunt attack allow for infinite resource recursion strategies that are relatively simple to achieve. In order to curb the effectiveness of some of these control and lock strategies, these cards have been banned. And the big question that needs to be asked at this stage is, did they really need to do that? Were they actually that good? Were they good enough, quite frankly, to warrant being banned? Because I told you that Oranguru decks didn't manage to achieve better than 41st place at the most recent regional. Now, there were over 600 people, so it was a big regional, but still not in the top 40. But Sableye didn't even get that high. And sure, Darkness decks, I mean, Sableye was the card that made Darkrai. You know, there were Darkrai decks that really relied on this and getting Dark Patch back and all of that, and just going absolutely nuts with it. I mean, Jason Klaczynski won his 3rd World Championships. Yep, Jason Klaczynski won 3 World Championships. I'm sure most of you know this, but for those of you that don't, he won 3 World Championships, although he hasn't won since 2013, so come on, Jason, it's about time. And the deck had 9 Pokemon in, 4 of which were Darkrai, 3 of which were Sableye. It's that gosh darn good. But more recently, Sableye has not been terribly relevant. It's not seen a huge amount of play. Now, having said that, there is a very good chance that what Pokemon said was, well, hang on a second, if we go and ban Oranguru, we're just going to see a bunch of people playing Sableye instead, so let's go ahead and ban that too. And what they're basically doing here is getting rid of these control strategies. And we've seen this in the bans that we've had recently. I mean, Puzzle of Time was very much there to recover cards. That's gone away. We've seen all kinds of hand disruption like Get This, that shuffles all of your opponent's item cards into their deck, and then you draw one for each one gotten back. Jesse and James, that discards cards from your opponent's hand. Maxie's, that lets you get a turn 1 going second fighting Pokemon, which could be Archeops to stop your opponent evolving their Pokemon, or it could be Kabutops to stop your opponent playing supporter cards. They're all gone. Pokemon have been very clear in the fact that they do not want strategies overtaking that stop your opponent playing the game. We can have these, but they can't be too good. So one example we've got at the moment would be Florges. Florges is still absolutely legal in the expanded format. So one from Forbidden Light, every turn you get to flip a coin, and if heads, you put an item card from your discard pile on top of your deck, and you're basically going for Robo-Sub and Lily's Pokédoll, that are basically item cards you put down as Pokemon, but they don't give up a prize when KO'd. Although Lily's Pokédoll is better, because if you want to get that out the active, you can put it on the bottom of your deck. Robo-Sub, you have to discard it. But you've got both of them around to play with. And that is very much legal in the expanded format. Robo-Sub's not banned, Lily's Pokédoll's not banned, Florges isn't banned. But the Flabébé from Forbidden Light is. And the reason is, it lets you evolve immediately. It lets you, when you go second, immediately evolve, which gives you a more consistent, faster Florges, which Pokemon don't want. You can have the Florges deck, but you can't have it being that fast and consistent. And here's the thing, we actually do have a pretty good alternative to these cards, which is legal not just in Expanded, but also in Standard. My boy Excadrill. Now, this is not my preferred list of Excadrill, though I have been, well, when I was playing Excadrill Spiritomb, as you know if you watch the channel, there was one of these in that deck. Because you have the attack Rototiller. For 1 fighting energy, you shuffle 4 cards from your discard pile into your deck. It's actually a better version of Oranguru, because you recover 1 more card, and they get shuffled in rather than put on the bottom. If you put them on the bottom, you've then got to shuffle your deck, and it gets super awkward. Shuffling in your deck makes it more likely you'll draw into them. But Excadrill takes coloured energy, not colourless. And crucially, Excadrill is a stage 1, which means it takes a bit more space in your deck and it's a little bit slower to get it rolling. And maybe Excadrill gets banned? And certainly if Excadrill starts doing too well, it will be. Pokemon in the bans, they haven't come out and said this, but if you look at the bans, they are clearly banning cards which are control strategies which are doing too well. Simple as that. If we go back to the wording that Pokemon used, they said, in an attempt to curb the effectiveness of some of these control and lock strategies. They're fine with control and lock strategies, but they seem to be saying that if they end up being too good, they're going to be gone away. Because they're not fun to play with, and well, I don't find them fun to play, I'm sure some people do, but they're definitely not fun to play against. So there we go. They banned Oranguru, they banned Sableye, and maybe my boy Excadrill's next. Or maybe it's time for Excadrill to take over. That would make me happy. I want to know what you think, though, so let me know in the comment section, would ya? Do you think these bans are warranted? Do you think they're excessive? Are you in agreement, or do they make you sad? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.